Hello, no budgeters. So we're delighted to welcome to our studio Philip Kidd, Chiara Viale and Cillian McAvoy. They're here to talk about their new film called The New Music. So Philip, you were the DOP on this film, and Chiara, you were you are the writer director, and Cillian, you're the lead actor. So thank you so much, guys, for coming in this morning and talking to us here at No Budget. So what is The New Music about, Chiara?
So the New Music is a no budget, no profit feature film about young successful pianist who gets diagnosed with young-onset Parkinson's disease and is in a phase of denial of the illness, and he runs away from home and comes to Dublin, rents a room in a shared apartment, tries to pass himself as a student, find himself a new identity, and but in the flat he finds three punks, Will, David and Jody, and they are a punk band. So this kind of his own reality clashes with that of these guys, and they help him find a new meaning to his life and find him, help him to find a way to play music still.
And how did this all come about? Is this your first feature film? Yeah. First feature film to write, is it, and direct?
It is.
And so this is your first feature film to DOP, and this is your second starring. You were in a feature film before, weren't you?
But not a starring role.
Starring,
first big starring role for a feature film.
And how did this all come about? Like, what was how did it start? Like, you decided, right, this is the time to make a feature film, because you were all involved in shorts before. And what was the inspiration behind deciding to make this challenge?
She wrote a short script, so there's a 23-page script initially, and we tried to get some funding for it, and that didn't work. So the DFC, the Dublin Filmmakers Collective, set up a make a feature film in a 1-year challenge. And I told her, like, if you make the script, I'll make it. We'll just do it. So they started the challenge in January, and then you had the script ready in April.
Yeah.
And then we just said, like, let's just start, just get it going. And here we are in post-production now.
And how did you find it, say, compared to even writing a short film, compared to writing a mammoth task of writing a feature film? Because I know myself as a writer, like, I haven't written a feature film, and it just seems so daunting. So how did you find it? Just the leap.
Yeah, it did help that there was 23 pages ready.
Mm-hmm.
So I have to say, like, I did study a little bit, the pacing, where something needed to happen, and just make sure that it wasn't just a long short film, but it had the right rhythm to it to be a feature. But in the short version of it, there was lots of space to go more in depth with each character and create new situations, put more music in, and so all that kind of had space to happen once I didn't have a page limit, or I had like a broader, space, to develop the story.
And did you find the planning of this as a DOP very different to the planning a short film?
No, it's exactly the same.
Is it? It's just a longer process.
It just never ends, yeah.
It never ends, never ends. And what was the inspiration behind, it's about Parkinson's, young-onset Parkinson's, which isn't very well known, really, because most people associate Parkinson's with a lot of older people. Was there an inspiration behind dealing with this topic?
Yeah, it's, I was looking at because I'm always very interested in writing about situations where people think they have their lives figured out, and then something happens to them, and then everything, falls apart and needs to be rebuilt. Especially for young people, we all tend to try to define ourselves very early. So I had a character who thought, okay, I'm a good pianist, that's it, that's what I'm gonna do for the rest of my life, and then something happens, and I was researching for disease and an illness that could affect his ability to play, and I found, I just found out about young-onset Parkinson's. I didn't know it existed. I didn't know it was a rare disease. So I just felt that in a way suited the story. So I started writing about it, and then I got more and more involved, and it became a sort of a bit of a mission that I have now to try to raise awareness about it and try to to get more as many people as possible to know about it.
And are you donating some of the? is it the music or the feature film funds, I suppose, too? Is it young onset?
Yeah, it's a
group?
Young Parkinson's Ireland is the association. So at the moment we have a crowdfunding campaign going for to cover our post-production costs, but we are already donating monthly 20% of the campaign to the association. And we also, wish like if we were to reach our goal, everything else will be devolved to them. And it's being made. It's basically a film made for charity at this point. It didn't start like that when we were going off with the story. But the more we went into it, the more we realized that there's not enough funds devolved to it at the moment. There's loads of need for research. There's need for nurses trainings and the more should be given to this association at the moment. So they need help. So if we could give just a little bit of help to them, it's worth it.
And how did you find the funding aspect of this film? Because I know to make any film it costs an awful lot, but to make a feature film it's a huge challenge, especially for no budget filmmakers. So how did you go about funding for this film? Do you want
There was no funding whatsoever. Everything was out of pocket. So we just scraped together what we had on that week, bought a load of sandwiches, asked a load of favours, and that's it. Like that's all the money ever went to.
And do you find people were very generous in like the actors, the crew, maybe because the script, if people are on board and they connect to the script, it's like a magnet, I suppose. Did you find people were very generous with their time and?
I thought in a little bit it had to do with the theme of the film. Mm-hmm. So people knowing that they were part of something that like there was a message behind it. There was a bigger picture behind the film. It wasn't just trying to make something for our own turnout or trying but there was more to it. And also I think that a good thing about the script is that it looked very doable from a pre-production point of view. So even if people were in unpaid or with expenses covered, they looked like, okay, this is actually going to happen. We feel that if we're part of this project, this is actually going to see the light. We're not just going to waste time in a production and then nothing's going to happen. And so there was these two parts, but lots of people came in drawn by the story or drawn by the script.
And Cillian, do you play the piano in this film?
Well, it looks like I played a piano in this film.
So it's like a Saoirse Ronan Byzantium,
something like that. But hopefully more convincing. Like it was important that it didn't look naff for me. So we knew which pieces we wanted to do. So I'd spend time memorizing which kind of part of the piano my hand should look like, so that I wasn't causing any problems. Where it's like he's definitely not playing the piano. So it's my job to be as convincing as I can, so a pianist won't be like, God, he's only playing the leading thing. So like that, I'm not up here. So just kind of making sure it's memory in a way that it's like it looks good.
And how did you? Because it's quite a challenging part. You're playing a person who has Parkinson's. Did you do research into the character?
Yeah. So the Michael J. Fox Foundation is an interesting thing because, like, I'd say this would have been much harder for me to do a good few years ago. With the internet now, like you have access to people's histories and people talking about everything. Michael J. Fox Foundation actually has interviews with doctors talking to patients. So what I get to understand is how a doctor looks at things and also what is a person feeling and they're going through these things. So I basically took all these notes down and watched videos about people suffering and seeing what happened within the family, and would take these emotions that people discussed and layer it throughout the words in my script, knowing that these are the things that I feel I should be going through now, and trying to make it as convincing and as truthful as possible. And
what was the most challenging part did you find as an actor working on this?
Trying to play the piano. Yeah. No, it was trusting my heart that I'm a human, and because it's not proper full-on take of the Parkinson's, it's the early stages. If you just put yourself in the shoes of someone that knows their life is going to be completely derailed, and trust that that's going to be the right approach. For the last time, what do you want me to tell you?
Everything.
Everything.
Mm-hmm.
1, 2, 3, 4! Sit down, write your songs and speak to people, Who picks a fight with himself? You're not perfect, right?
You're not perfect.
Life isn't perfect. Nothing's perfect. Isn't that what music's all about?
I won't waste any more of my time stepping among feet.
I'm coming home.
So there's a lot of punk music in this film. So you're into punk music, isn't it?
Yeah.
And was there an original song created for this?
Yeah, there's Zach Stevenson from Monkey. It's a Dublin-based band. Composed 2 songs for us, and the actors learned to play these songs on their instruments. Thankfully, Martina can play the drums, basic drums, and Patrick and Jack can play bass and guitar. So we got the tracks down, and the guys learned how to play them because being a punk band in the film, there's 2 points where they performed live, and that was an amazing contribution we got from an amazing musician. And then we all the soundtrack of the film is made of loads of different artists, Irish artists, international artists, and punk bands and songwriters who gave us their songs. And so
Are you going to release a CD as well as the film?
we hope that the artists will be on board for this and for releasing a soundtrack. But if as far enough at the moment, we're just extremely happy to have them on the project. It's amazing.
So it also stars, is it Martina Babasova?
Yeah.
So Jack Fenton, Patrick O'Brien, and also Paula McGlinchey. So they're kind of the main actors in the film. And also, for our no budgeters, our very own Fergus Keane is in it. So keep an eye out for that, you know. So what's next with this film? Where is it at? Is it edited? Where is it at the moment?
Currently going through the second draft of the film. Once that's done, Chiara have to check it, watch it over, and then we're ready to do ADR. So that's, I can't remember what ADR stands for, but basically all the dialogue has to be re-recorded. So we did our best to try and record good audio on the day, but the entirety of the film has to be redone.
Oh, the sound.
Which is all the sound has to be put in again, which is fine because it's a film about sound and music and.
It's very important. Any film, sound, you know, is extremely important.
Yeah, so we're all prepared to put time into making it sound perfect and sound as good as possible. So that's fine.
As well as re-recording probably all the live music and get Jack in the studio to sing the songs and also mix the sound perfectly so that all these artists and all this music comes in perfectly and it's smooth. And because music is played in so many different ways in the film, so you have moments where the guys put music on in the kitchen, then you have a moment where someone's playing guitar, then you have a montage, then you have all these different dimensions of music, and there's classical music and all sorts.
So what's the plan for next? Are you entering into festivals or what's going to happen next?
We'll finish it first. Hopefully be finished by the end of the summer, and towards that time we'll start screening it for Young Parkinson's Ireland and for all the crew, all the people who've made it, and get feedback from them, see what they think about it, and maybe tweak it, maybe change it a bit, and then send it off to festivals for the 2019 festival run. So they'll all print their schedules and stuff around October, so we have to have everything submitted by then. Even after submitting it, we can do some changes, but I think we'll have it finalised by then. So yeah, that's the plan for it.
So if there's one bit of advice for no budgeter viewers of making a feature film, so what advice would you give them? I'll come to each of you. So Philip.
Recognise what resources you have and try not to go beyond them. Try not to demand too much of yourself. Just work with what you have and keep it manageable in that way, and you'll be able to make something great.
Chiara?
Well, my advice is if you want to get something done, go and do it. Don't wait for people to tell you it's good enough or for the festival to like your last short film. And it is true that you might have very little, but if that's something you believe in and if it's a good script, a good story, just go and don't wait for someone to tell you it's a good time or for funding to come in. Just go.
Cillian.
Like-minded people, everyone with the same goal and aspirations of achieving the same thing. So there's almost like a comfort of everyone keeping each other up, that when you arrive on the day that everyone's going to be there again fighting to get through the day. you know, as long as you have the food there, I think people's energies are staying high.
Very important.
Very
isn't
important.
It? Food,
The
keep the
food
crew
and
and
water.
cast well fed and watered.
That's it. Otherwise, like, energy's going down, but just knowing in the back of our heads that we're driving towards a great goal that we are proud of, I think having a set goal and a desire is very important.
Well, listen, thank you so much, guys, for coming and speak to us here at No Budget.
Thank
Really
you.
appreciate it. So check out the preview below, and also if you want to donate to their GoFundMe page, click on the link as well. Thank you.
Thank you.